Sorry, boss, I'm a little late. John, it's enough. This is the third time you are late for our weekly meeting. That's it. You're getting a warning notice. Stop. Before you hand out warning notices like free cars, you get a warning. And you get a warning. And you get a warning. Everyone gets warnings. You should know that there are several other options to deal with an employee who's always late, even before firing him. Oh, really? And what would that be? I'll show you. So, let's assume your employee John is your best sales guy. But he's always late for meetings. So what should you do? You don't want to lose him because he's great in what he's doing. Should you just let him go on like that? What would your other employees think? Well, if John can be late and nothing happens, then I don't need to be on time as well. That's not good. You need to have lots of options to react to John's violation of your rules. I call these options escalation levels. Let me explain. So John is, as always, 10 minutes late. He bursts into the meeting that has started on time and he's just saying, "Sorry, I'm late. A customer just called right before the meeting. I'm sure you understand." So how are you going to react? Just let John get away with being late? Of course not. I'm giving him a warning notice. No, not yet. What is it with you and warning notices actually? Anyway, and depending on how you react now shows everyone else in the room how serious you are and whether you are acting consistently or not. A good reaction would be, "John, you're not a little late. You're late. I think I made myself clear last time. If our meeting is scheduled for 9 a.m., I expect everyone to show up on time. That includes you too." Now let's assume that 1 week later, John is yet again 10 minutes late for the meeting. This time we could try it with a sense of humor. "No, John, I don't understand. You didn't have to answer the call so shortly before the meeting. You should have also told the customer to call back in an hour. From now on, whoever is late for the meeting will take the meeting minutes. John, I'm delighted that you have decided to volunteer for that today. Many thanks." Of course, this is not entirely correct. Actually, I should have mentioned also that consequence in the meeting before. But it's an attempt to not turn it into a big thing and approach it with humor. But still being consistent and pointing out that there will be consequences. But it can also be that John doesn't want to see the warning signals. For the next meeting, he's late again. Now you can do the following. "John, you're late again. Please come to my office right after our meeting. I'd like to have a word with you." In this conversation, you explain to John again very clearly and calmly why it is important to you to be on time and that you expect him to be on time as of now. It's crucial that you make it clear to him what will happen if he's not on time in the future. So it looks like that John likes to play with fire. He keeps being late for meetings. Okay, but now it's finally time to issue a warning notice, right? Not yet. There are still some other options. What? Come on, don't be such a softie. What else can you do? A lot. Since John is important to you because he does a great job, you want to help him to change his behavior. If John is still late again, arrange another one-on-one meeting with him. Another one? Obviously, this guy has never heard of the hire and fire policy. You explain to him that he again did not meet your expectation, namely to appear on time, and that you are making a note of this conversation. That means you briefly summarize your conversation and have John sign it. Well, I'm sure you will use a slightly different note. Anyway, tell John that if he shows up on time for the next meetings for 3 months, you will invite him for coffee and tear up this note in front of his eyes. But also tell him that if he's late again, it will have consequences. Then there will be another one-on-one conversation and another note, only that this time it will be added to his personal file. You may have more escalation levels, for example, another meeting, but this time with someone from HR and John. Or the next level already means to issue a warning notice. Well, finally. Here, John, take this. Crap. The 7th escalation level would be a second warning, and from the 8th and last level would be the dismissal of the employee. But it will certainly not come to that. And do you know why? Because escalating gives you options. He doesn't know how far you can or want to go with that. Whenever you reach another escalation level, you only tell him what the next consequence would be. If you do this over several escalation levels, it's very likely that John will comply eventually. He understands that you really mean business, unless he doesn't want to keep his job. But if that was the case, then it would be better to part ways with him anyway. Bye guys, I'm out of here. Does it always have to be 8 escalation levels? No, of course not. Whether and how many escalation levels you actually use, that depends on the employee and on the behavior to be changed, and of course on how far you are willing to go. I mean, if an employee has been stealing money from the employer, there's only one consequence: dismissal. If your employee is important to you, you should keep escalating to help him change his behavior. On the other hand, if his or her performance has been very poor for a long time, you might not have to go that far. But that is entirely up to you and the situation. Please understand that this is not a punishment. It's intended to help the employee adjust his or her behavior according to your expectations. Even the dismissal is a help. It shows your employee that with this behavior, he or she is not the right person for this company and is probably better off with another job. Very important when you sit down with your employee to talk about their misbehavior and your expectations. This is about giving feedback. A lot can go wrong there, and you might end up making the situation even worse than it already is. So check out this video on how to give feedback to employees. It sure will come in handy. So click here. Thank you for watching and see you soon.